afternoon, everyone. Today is Thursday, the 1st of July. Happy July 1 Day. Today is also the day in which we remember Junipero Serra, that Franciscan missionary in of course, the west of the country. We're talking about California and the missions there. Saint Junipero Serra, for some people, a great evangelizer, promoter of the faith. To other people, they criticize him a little bit. But I think what you find in saints and people who have a prophetic nature about them by virtue of your baptism, you're always going to ruffle some feathers, aren't you? I think even the prophets of biblical days ruffled feathers, don't you think? Absolutely. So Junipero Serra was one of those individuals as well. Great evangelizer, great missionary, bringing the gospel to this beautiful new land, to catechize people. I mean, if it wasn't for people like Junipero Serra, if it wasn't for people like your mom and dad, and my mom and dad, and the good sisters and priests that staffed our schools and parishes, and the community at large who really built these beautiful places. And they're more than just places of brick and mortar, aren't they? Parishes and churches and schools and hospitals. They're places of the gospel. They're where the corporal and spiritual works of mercy are enlivened to feed the hungry, to instruct the ignorant, to counsel the doubtful, to provide the beautiful resources that we need to understand Jesus Christ and the gospel that he offers to you and me. Well, you know, I love all that, as you know. I'm grateful for everything that I received. I say this often. I stand on the shoulders of people that went before me. Don't you stand on their shoulders? We're the recipients of all of this. Like, look at this place of St. Mary's, okay? So let's talk about St. Mary's. It was established back in 1926, September the 15th. So on September 15th of this year, 2021, we're going to be 95 years old. Could you imagine? Could you just begin to think about all of the 95 years before us and how they came here, you know, lived here and worshiped here and prayed here and celebrated the sacraments and the priest and then eventually the sisters. Just beautiful, beautiful to what it is today. St. Mary's here in historic Schwenksville, St. Mary's Parish, 95 years old. So we broke away from St. Eleanor's, remember? September of 26. And Father Beezer was our first pastor. Father William Beezer, right, he was our first pastor. And then after Father left, do you know who our second pastor was? Father McCall. Father McCall. And after Father McCall, our third pastor was Father Hedge. You know that name, right? Because of Hedge Hall. He's the one who built our hall, our third pastor. And then after our third pastor came our fourth pastor, and that was Father Birosh, who built the present day church. And then our fifth pastor, Father Kelly, who just died really, maybe 7 months ago? So Father Kelly. And then after Father Kelly, our sixth pastor was Father Brennan. And then after Father Brennan came our seventh pastor. And you know him, don't you? Father McElroy, who really, under his leadership, put together our new school building. Yeah, they had to make a decision whether or not to build a new school. Should we? Should we not? Should we? Should we not? Father McElroy said, I think we need to do it. And so in 2003, I believe it was March of 2003, a new school building was put up. Not only that, but under Father McElroy's leadership, we put together the Adoration Chapel. Wasn't that nice? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was kind of very nice. That Father had speakers at all the masses, and you really stepped up to the plate. In fact, we could use a couple more. We have a couple hours open, so please. And finally, the third big thing that Father did under his leadership was he bought the property next door. You know, we have 2 ponds over there and the residence for the priest, so which was another additional 10 acres. So Father McElroy, school, chapel, residence. Wow. So thank you, Father McElroy. He was here 20 years. Beautiful, beautiful. And then I'm your 8th one. I'm number 8, Father Bellopede. So there's 8 of us. From Father Beezer to Father Bellopede. B. So we have Father Beezer to Father Bellopede. And in that term of 8 years, 8 pastors, in that span of 8 pastors, there was one Father Sweeney, who was not Father Sweeney from St. Eleanor's, Father Joseph Sweeney, who was administrator until the Archbishop could appoint a pastor. So he was an administrator. I think he was the administrator between number either 5 and 6 or 6 and 7 pastors. So he was an administrator. So administrators are usually priests who hold the place until a pastor is appointed. They hold the place until the pastor is appointed. So we had 8 pastors. I'm number 8. And we had 1 administrator just holding the place. So just want to give you a little bit of facts too. So hopefully in 5 years we'll have a nice commemorative book for you. Part of our plan is to put together a commemorative book giving you the history of the 100 years of St. Mary's Parish, from its humble beginnings and how we developed and grew, and who were the key players, and also the sacraments, the first wedding, the first baptism, the first Holy Communion, first confirmation. You know, a beautiful history of the parish, of one faith, one family, one spirit, spanning from 1926 to 2026. That's 100 years. And the chair of putting this together will be our own Susan Rodzowitz, who is the Director of Communication here at the parish and stewardship. She'll be asking you for many pictures. So if you don't mind, I mean, I know it's not until 5 years, but I think she's beginning now. She's beginning to put together a folders of all of these moments in the life of the history of the parish. So, do you have any kind of pictures, newspaper clippings? Do you have any kind of wonderful history that you could share with Susan Rodzowitz? I think she would appreciate that very much. And if you're interested in being part of her committee, you might want to give her a call or email her at srodz, R-O-D-Z, S-R-O-D-Z, S-R-O-D-Z, at Church of Saint, S-A-I-N-T, Mary.org. So it's srodz at churchofstmary.org, or you could call her here at the office center, 610-287-8156. and ask for Susan Rodzowitz. So yeah, she's going to be, of course, directing the commemorative book. So it's a lot of work. But more hands make less work. So she'll eventually meet with you probably in one of the annex rooms. She'll have meetings with you. She'll tell you how it's all going to be planned out. What section of the book is first, what section of the book is second, what section of the book is third. And then the patrons, usually have patrons like gold, silver, bronze patrons for the commemorative book. So it's a very worthwhile endeavor, I'm telling you. I've been a priest for 30 years, so I've seen many commemorative books celebrating anniversaries of parishes. They're wonderful because they give you a history of the life of the parish. And it's a keepsake. It's something you put on your coffee table. It's something that you share with other people, and it's something you will use later. You'll say, oh, wait a minute, we have that book. Let me go look who was the third pastor? Oh, that's right, it was Father Hedge. Remember, he's the one that built the hall. That's why they named it Hedge Hall. Let me go look about his life. Let me see his write-up. So it's a very good keepsake. So if you're a history buff, you might want to join Susan's committee. And you might want to say, hey, Susan, I would like to, be with you. And I keep a lot of things. So you're welcome to use these things, and she'll give them back to you. We use them, and we put all that together in typesetting form for the printer, our own parishioner, Hank Fox, and then we'll have that all together by the time of the anniversary, right? So I just want to put that in. Why I'm saying all this? Because we're talking about people like Juniper Sarah. We're talking about people like the Archdiocese of Philadelphia and all those people that founded this Archdiocese 157. It's more than 157. I'm sorry. The dedication of the cathedral was 157 years old, but the Archdiocese was founded in 1808. Yeah, the Archdiocese was founded in 1808. So, how about all those people? How about the beginnings of the Archdiocese of Philadelphia? All that kind of stuff. I think the missionaries like Juniper Sarah, the missionaries that came here like Father Beezer, and all the people that worked with him, that's all part of the unfolding of God's plan for this parish, for the Catholic Church, for the Archdiocese of Philadelphia, for the faith to come to the U.S., and what has happened, and the key players that made a tremendous contribution. See, that's why I'm dovetailing into our own anniversary, which is September 15th. And we don't always keep it to the 15th because we try to do the second weekend, so sometimes it falls. But what we do try to do here at St. Mary's is we try to put it between the 8th, which is her birthday, Our Lady, and the 15th, which is our Mother of Sorrows. And we try to put the feast somewhere in between those two benchmarks. And we zero in on the second weekend of September usually, how we celebrate as a parish the wonderful anniversary of our establishment here in Schwenksville. So, what do you think? 95 years this coming September. So, of course, Susan, being Director of Communications and Stewardship, she has the responsibility here of serving our parish in that respect by allowing us to really celebrate well our anniversary. So she has a weekend planned for the 10th, 11th, and 12th of September. So this year it's going to be September 10th, 11th, and 12th. Susan has a Friday night event, a Saturday morning and a Saturday evening event, and then a Sunday event. So when she's looking for your help and she's looking for volunteers to support this beautiful 95th anniversary. So will you give her a call and say, hey Susan, what's up? What are we doing this year? What can I help you with? You know, so she'll be posting it on, she'll be sending you a sign up genius. She don't want to get ahead of the game, but she wants to put it on your radar so that we can really celebrate the beauty and the gift that God has given to us in this beautiful parish as we celebrate 95 years of one faith, because there's only one faith, one family, there's only one church, that's our family, and there's only one Spirit, and that is the Spirit of God. Do you see the oneness again? Even in our motto of our parish, we try to really be theologically sound. We try to be totally Catholic, totally Christ-centered. So it's all those good things I just like to share with you. So yesterday we celebrated the dedication of the anniversary of our cathedral. So when you celebrate a dedication of a church, it's important, don't you think? You're dedicating it to the honor and glory of Almighty God. And the cathedral church in Philadelphia at 18th and the Parkway was dedicated yesterday. It would be, 157 years ago. How? Like you just think about all these places that were built for the honor and glory of God and dedicated for His worship. I'm just so humbled by all that. I'm so humbled because you know why? I'm a recipient of using that cathedral. I was ordained in that cathedral. I prayed in that cathedral. I worshipped in that cathedral. That cathedral's been part of my life. I've sat in that cathedral all by myself on a day, maybe my day off, I would go down there, sit in the pew, and just sit. Well, someone put that together, and it's so nice to be part of a church, the local church of the Archdiocese and the wider community that has put it together. I don't even know the people that made sure that that was built. Do you know the people that made sure that that cathedral was built so that you can have it and I can have it? So we stand on their shoulders. And how about this place? September 15th, 1926. All the way to this moment. We're on our second church building, right? Our first one was a converted creamery across the road, which is now our auxiliary parking lot. And now here's our second church building under the direction of Father Birosh, right? Father Birosh was the fourth pastor. So it was under his leadership that our present day church was built, and how blessed we are. So there's always this history of all the people, the key players, the people who have sacrificed time, talent, treasure, so we could have this 23-acre campus, 6 buildings that we use. Isn't this unbelievable? So I mentioned all this today on the beautiful day of Junipero Serra as a missionary, evangelizer, Franciscan, someone who really took the faith seriously, believed in it, and passed it on. So I hope you have a wonderful day today as we continue to know, love, and appreciate our Catholic faith that Jesus Christ gave us. Have a nice day, everybody.